Well, the more things change, the more they stay the same on Friday nights. And CM Punk has retained the WWE Championship against Kevin Owens in what was a really good match. It took up, I'd say, about 30% of the show. And with all the backstage promos and everything else that happened, probably about almost 45 to 50% of the show. But with that said, good match. But unfortunately, the ending leaves a little bit less to be desired. And we are going to talk about it. So, with that, welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast. I am your host, Mike, joined by Mr. Real Deal. And Real Deal, what did you make of the title match? Because that's going to be the talking point of our show today.
I mean, outside of the fact that Kevin Owens doesn't look like he's missed a step, I think that this match went down exactly the way that we could have written it ourselves with how WWE tends to book these things. My big concern out of this is I was reading some reports this morning when I woke up that apparently WWE had or was planning on the Owens and Punk match being a one and done thing. So the way that match ended, I feel like it could go either way. I mean, obviously we know the match ended with Sami Zayn coming out and trying to help Owens and get Owens to use the title on Punk and Owens refused because he is apparently a face still, which it's tough to tell sometimes with KO. And Sami then clocked Owens with the belt as well, and so you could obviously go right into Sami versus KO as a feud, or you can even continue the Owens and Punk stuff. And personally, I told you and I were talking about it earlier. I had heard some discussion about this. I think that the way I would go is I would do KO and Punk again at Money at the Bank, have Sami win Money at the Bank, and cash in on KO right after he wins. I think that would be the best direction you could take this storyline with the people that are involved.
My only concern with that is using the briefcase on. I mean, we all know how Triple H feels about the briefcase, but like with that said, I don't know if I want to waste the briefcase on Sami Zayn, although I feel like he's probably a great character to have it. I feel like it's got to be either him or Solo at this point. Um, I don't love that, but I could see them doing that. I mean, I suppose that would get the title off of Punk for a little while. I'm still of the mind that the inevitable direction we're going here is Punk and Rhodes at WrestleMania, but I just don't want them to keep the belt on Punk for that long. And that troubles me a little bit. So, but let's just quickly break down, everything that led to this, right? So Sami Zayn opened the show arguing with Nick Aldis about his title loss, says that it's an injustice that he lost. He blamed Aldis for putting so many obstacles in front of him. Zayn said no matter what's in front of him, he continues to succeed, and then asks Aldis what business Randy Orton has in all this. But before he can respond, Randy Orton appears, but then Cody Rhodes demands he comes out to the ring. We'll talk about that later. As Zayn continues to berate Aldis, Orton tells Zayn they'll handle the business later. Aldis tries to intervene between Orton and Rhodes. Again, we'll get into that a little bit more later. Then a little bit later on, they talk about the Sunday night's main event, and then Orton's like, or I'm sorry, I keep getting into Orton here. Then there's another backstage segment a little bit later with Kevin Owens and Finn Balor and Gunther, and they're all, kind of in each other's face. Or Gunther's like, you're gonna have to worry about me next, and then Finn's like, no, look, you're gonna have to worry about me next. So they've kind of got their own little program, going to the side here. And then we had Randy Orton and CM Punk, which is what I was trying to get to. They had a segment where Randy's like, look, once I'm done with Cody, I'm going to come after you and I want number 15. So you kind of got like a lot of players around the title right now as well, which is nice, But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do with all of this. Like where they can obviously have all of these guys in a match, but like you might be right about your initial statement where it just might be one and done for Kevin Owens because you have so many other guys to kind of slot into this. So I don't know.
That honestly, that's what I was just about to add to your point there is that's one thing that SmackDown has, especially on the men's side that Raw doesn't have quite as much of, is they have an overabundance of talent that could compete for the main title now. which there was a little while there where they didn't, where it felt like Cody and Drew had nobody to go up against. And keep in mind, we're still waiting on a Drew McIntyre return. So
Gotta go to Raw.
I feel like he probably does go to Raw, but I could also see maybe a one and done with Punk because we know their history. But my point overall is it's one of the few things that we have about Friday Night SmackDown that we can't complain about is that we at least have a pretty big selection of storytelling options there.
So where do you? I know I asked you this when we reviewed last week, but like, where do you think we go with Punk? Like immediately now.
So right off the bat, obviously he's not going to be at the Sunday Night Main Event because there's already too much stuff going on there. But
Right.
he's going to be no doubt at Money at the Bank because there's no way they don't have him to defend it for 2 months. And right after that, there's talk of the next Blood in the Desert Riyadh season show is going to be beginning of November. And that means that we'll get Punk versus Roman most likely, unless there's like some sort of something crazy that happens with like a cash in or something. So that's two things right there. And then
Well,
I don't know.
They haven't done that in a while, though. They have not done a title versus title match. Like they haven't done the two champions versus each
Yeah, they
other,
have
have
because
they?
they've done the. It's for that stupid belt.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it's last year we had Seth and Cody. That's
Yeah,
right.
they
You're
do.
right.
They do
You're
the
right.
stupid. What is it? The crown jewel belt.
I don't think we're going to get a rematch of Punk and Roman.
I think though we do because I mean, do you see them taking the title off of Roman by then?
No, I see them taking the title off Punk by then.
I mean, that would mean he'd have to drop it at Money at the Bank. So it puts it in kind of a interesting spot as far as trying to fantasy book at least because it comes down to that pit stop there for Riyadh season is do you want Punk Rhodes again or do you want or not Punk Rhodes Punk Roman again or do you want Roman versus somebody else?
Let me ask you this. Have we gotten, like, I'm trying to think back to all of the matches during the 4-year Roman Reigns title reign. Did we ever get Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton?
Give me 1 second. Because I don't. I'm gonna actually look that up.
So I'm thinking to like everybody he fought. I know he fought Drew. Obviously, he fought Sami. He fought Kevin Owens. He fought Demon Finn Balor. He obviously fought Punk recently. He obviously fought Cody. I feel like he did have a match with Randy Orton, but like for some reason it was like a TV match, and like I can't remember.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't.
but I don't remember a match with Randy Orton. I feel like there was gonna be one, but then something happened. Did Orton get injured or something? Like, but I don't remember if he ever actually had a match. I remember
He
there was like
did.
a promo. There was a
It
promo or something like that.
it was not a normal match though. Randy Orton faced Roman Reigns as the Tribal Chief during his record-breaking 1,300-day title reign. Had a high-profile Fatal 4-Way match at the Royal Rumble in 2024
That's it. That's
against
it. So it
LA.
wasn't
It was him, LA Knight, and AJ Styles. So
so it wasn't a singles match.
no, we have not had a singles match between Orton and Roman. Tribal Chief Roman.
That's what we should do. That's the match.
So you put the
That's the
belt,
match.
put the belt
So
on Randy.
you have Orton beat Cody, which we both think is going to happen anyway. Orton becomes the number one contender. Orton beats Punk. Orton versus Roman at Blood Money. No, I think it's actually in the U.S. I think it's in Houston at War Game, Survivor Series. But then Orton is the champion going into the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and then you can have him either drop it or have someone like cash in or something on him. Because like you alluded to, I mean, pretty much everybody knows that Triple H's opinion of the Money at the Bank briefcase is that it's better used for storytelling purposes, even if that means the person doesn't win. So I think that's where you use the briefcase is to further a story.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if they're actually going to do that? I just feel like it makes the most sense. You know what else we haven't touched either is Roman Reigns versus Gunther.
Oh yeah, they haven't faced each other at all, have they?
That match has never happened,
What do you
and
think
I don't
of
know.
Gunther winning the Money at the Bank briefcase, but rather than cashing it in like the normal heel does, he just calls a shot?
I mean, there have been people that have done that.
I think that would fit him better though, right? Than like being the sniveling, weaselly heel who sneaks it out.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if he's going to make it into the if he's going to make it into that match though.
Because usually when it's somebody calling like their shot with the belt or with the briefcase, it's usually a face, isn't it? Like it wasn't it Cena who did it and then lost.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, we all know Gunther's not a face, but I think that it fits his personality more to do it that way than to be the normal like backstabbing sneaky person.
So who is the champion for both brands going into the end of the year right
Going
now?
into like the start of the new season in January on Netflix.
Into the Royal Rumble.
Um, Roman, I think is still your champ. I don't think Roman loses the belt before maybe the Royal Rumble. Partially because I have a hard time seeing him lose the belt on a B tier PLE. Um, SmackDown's tough. Like part of me still feels like we need to get to something big with Sami at WrestleMania since it's in Riyadh again. And I feel like WWE is with and TKO with the way they look at like the global audience, sometimes to the detriment of the product. I feel like that is too big of a publicity thing to miss out on, especially for that area of the world. So I don't know, maybe the belt by then it's got to be on somebody that I think Sami could face, or maybe Sami wins it by then and goes into Mania as champ. But I think whatever's going on at that point definitely is still going to involve Sami Zayn. Like I know
I,
that was
I
kind of a non-answer, but
it was a very political answer, but that's okay.
I at least explained why I thought that way.
All right. So do you have anything else to say about this before we move on?
Um, no, I mean other than the fact that I hope it's not a one and done because it was such a good match until the predictable ending. I think that Owens is a good person to have Punk go up against because A, he's a safe worker, and B, just the two of them can play off of each other so well. So I hope it's not done, but if it is, I think Sammy versus KO will obviously be a good feud as well, even though we've seen it like 700 times.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just be 701, I
Yep.
guess.
That's what happens though when you have two guys who are as friends, as much of friends as they are outside of wrestling, and everybody knows that. You get that like blood hatred.
So we also had more stuff between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton continuing their feud, and Nick Aldis got involved and told both of them, look, if you guys touch each other before your match at Sunday night's main event, there will be no title opportunity between either one of you, so long as you're on SmackDown, which is interesting. It's an interesting little nugget, but I, I, I am of the mind right now that if either one of them breaks, it's going to be Cody.
Mhm.
But Cody, this whole segment was kind of like a nothing segment until Cody's line at the end of the segment where he quoted Mr. Paul Heyman saying it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler that I will be the one to beat you. And yeah, what do we make of that? And Cody Rhodes potentially being aligning himself with Paul Heyman, maybe. because there was a segment a couple of years ago where the two of them were also in the ring together. And eventually, I think Paul Heyman said something along the lines of eventually they all need a wise man or something like that. And I remember there was a segment that the two of them had together where something similar had happened. So, what do you make of all that?
I believe that's what they call in the business long-term storytelling. But I I think that that would be awesome. I mean, this is another case of, like I just said about KO and Sami Zayn, where because these two guys are on such good terms with each other and like such friends outside of the ring, that they can turn it into such a high intensity feud. I mean, every promo between these guys, including the ones where they were trying to commit felonies on live TV, were very good. You can feel the hate between them. Like, I know Cody could be kind of played out when he does his angry Cody shtick, but I think that he's done a very good job with it so far. And the the teasing of the heel stuff, the slight changes to his gear, the say calling himself the killer of the legend killer, and then of course, like you just said, the Heyman reference. And this, I don't remember exactly what he said last week, but I feel like there was something he said there too that was kind of a Heymanism. And I think that a Paul Heyman move to SmackDown to work with Cody would be a very good next logical step for Cody's character. And I mind you, I also loved Randy calling him the American Daydream.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, I kind of think that like unless Heyman aligns himself with Oba, which I don't think that they should do right now, I think that that is probably the right direction to go for Paul Heyman because I think he needs to be he probably needs to be done with the Vision.
I just don't think he needs to be with the Vision anymore. I mean, they brought Maxine there. She's working as a manager type character for them. And Braun is obviously at odds with Heyman. So, what better way to resolve that conflict than to move Heyman away?
Yep. We also had Chelsea Green backstage apologizing to Tiffany Stratton about what happened last week, while Stratton tells her it's okay, but she doesn't want to jeopardize herself again. Paige appears and tells Chelsea, look, she was inspired by her speech until Fatal Influence interrupted because, this is how we do women's segments. All the women standing in a row. And tells Green she'll be taking the belt. Paige tells JC Jane she'd like to take her Women's United States Championship from her. So yeah, that ultimately led into a match, which saw Lash Legend end up defeating Tiffany Stratton by a pinfall. Whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't care. Tiffany visibly favoring the ribs from the previous week, but yeah, it is what it is. I don't care. I don't care at all. And I think you made a point before we get on here that you think Tiffany might be the one to take the belt off of Chelsea. But we did also have a segment where Blake Monroe made mention that she also wants a title shot as well, which was supposed to lead to a match between her and Julia, which kind of never got started. So my thought here is that, yeah, I suppose you could do that, and then you could actually have Julia just cost her, and then maybe just a proper program for Blake Monroe for the next little while here.
I think that if Tiffany isn't the one to win the title off of Chelsea, I think she's the one to cost her. I feel like that's the logical thing there, especially considering how much better Tiffany Stratton works as a heel. And I think that that would be a, even if Tiffany is the one who costs Chelsea, then you can get a feud just between Chelsea and Tiffany. I really hope that it doesn't happen soon. I mean, we all know what certain people backstage think of Chelsea Green, but hopefully them allowing her to keep the title with her broken orbital bone is a sign that they're going to actually give her a chance. And I mean, she's already held the belt longer than Sami Zayn did, so that's a win. But I think that as far as the match between Tiffany and Lash Legend, I mean, like you said, I don't care. I mean, Lash Legend is just a slightly more athletic Nia Jax. Like, I'm sorry, I feel like they had an opportunity with Nia when she got hosed out of the SummerSlam stuff, but that's passed them by, and now just Lash and Nia are back in their spot of oh, we need someone to go out there and beat people up because you're big.
Yeah, that's literally all they're using it for. And like, you know, I, I feel bad for Lash because we've said on this channel numerous times about Nia. Like, I don't think she should ever have the title again at this point. If you want to use her as like an easy filler feud for people, fine. I have no interest in Tiffany Stratton being anywhere near Nia Jax ever again because we did that for about a year and a half,
Yep.
and we don't need any more of that. And Lash Legends is just, to your point, Nia Jax Jr. at this
Yeah.
point. So I don't need Tiffany Stratton anywhere near that anymore.
Yeah, like I said, she's literally just a more athletic version of Nia. She's just as dangerous, because obviously Nia's gotten a little bit better as far as that goes over the years. But I don't know that I need to see them anywhere near a main title picture, like you said.
Next, we had the MFTs defeat R-Truth and Damian Priest via pinfall to retain the WWE Tag Team Championships. And they came out again with Mr. Brazy Haku, who looks like $1,000,000, dude. I love him. He's awesome.
That's because
He's
he eats
so
people's souls.
terrifying. And he, did you know that he actually had a match with R-Truth?
Haku did?
Yes.
Is that more of a testament to the fact that R-Truth is like a bajillion years old? Or did like when did they have that match?
Like early in R-Truth's career,
That's that's actually kind of an interesting tidbit. Surprised R-Truth
right?
is still alive.
Yeah. R-Truth he's almost 50, right?
Dude's been going forever, and
Yeah.
he doesn't ever. I mean, other than when he hurts himself doing some sort of stupid overcomplicated move that he shouldn't do. I think that he's another one who the way he wrestles, he can just keep going.
Yeah. And then last, we had a segment with Trick Williams and Baron Corbin, where Trick Williams demands Baron Corbin come to the ring to stop ducking him. Corbin comes to the ring and tells him that he wants, look, you're not getting another shot at my title. But then, he reminds him, look, I'm gonna keep coming after you. Blah 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 blah. They hit him with kendo sticks, and then eventually Corbin's like, look, I'll give you a match if Little Yachty can survive 5 minutes in the ring with me. So this is likely going to set up a match for Sunday night's main event where it'll be a 5 minute timer where Little Yachty will like run around the ring and do everything he can to survive for 5 minutes with Corbin. But this will inevitably lead to another match between Trick and Corbin.
Do we think that it goes immediately into like? Do you think Trick demands the match right away? Since it's only going to be a 5 minute match.
I don't know. You've got two really big matches on that Sunday night's main event show, so probably not.
The main event shows are usually what, 4 matches?
4 or 5. But I mean, you've got two huge matches on that
Which
show.
is
You've got
unusual for
Ron
matches
and
of that
Oba
big.
and Randy and Cody. Randy and Cody will probably close the show. Um, I could see that actually. I don't know, dude. It's just like it's so poetic, right? To have Cody Rhodes finally turn heel in Atlanta against Randy Orton.
Yep.
Like, if it's gonna happen, that's where it's gonna happen.
I could get behind that. I think that would be
Cody
great.
should turn heel after the match. He needs to turn heel after he loses.
Yeah, have Randy win and then Cody like attack him or something from there. Um, but back to the Little Yachty and Trick segment. All I care is that this gets us to something involving Carmelo Hayes as well. Like, I feel like he's the odd man out of everything that's been going on around that title, and I think that he needs to be involved in this whole storyline somehow too.
I mean, I hope you're right. I just don't think that you are. I want
Like,
you to be right. Like, I really want you to be right, but I feel like WWE is just going to forget about him.
which is what I don't understand because everything that I've heard and seen is that he is extremely well loved backstage. Like as both a performer and just for the person that he is.
Oh, he seems like a great guy, and he's a great wrestler.
Yeah,
I feel like WWE has forgotten about him in favor of their shiny new Trick Williams,
and Little Yachty.
which is, yeah, whatever.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna start calling him James Ellsworth.
There you go. So that was SmackDown. It's okay. Predictable, but okay. But with that, what is your final rating for the show?
I mean, I don't think it was on par with some of the higher tier SmackDowns we've seen lately, but it definitely was not anywhere near any of the bad SmackDowns that we normally would get. I still think that WWE is on a little bit of a hot streak with SmackDown after SummerSlam. I don't know if they'll be able to continue that down the road, especially with the talk of them going back to 3 hours for SmackDown. I think that is a mistake if they do that. But this was overall a enjoyable show. The main event was good wrestling, and so I got to give it at least a B. I don't think I would put it any higher than a B plus at most, but it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with you. It was an okay show, predictable, but I do like that there's a lot of guys around the main event segment right now, and like you could go a lot of different directions, as we kind of alluded to at the beginning of the show. I really, I would like to see Orton win the championship. I do think that the Cody Rhodes heel turn is inevitable. Um, I just feel like I've said this 100 times. It just feels so predictable that we're going to do Punk and Rhodes again for the title at WrestleMania. But if it's a heel Cody Rhodes, I could maybe get behind that. So with that, my final rating for the show is it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler out of 5.
Quick question for you before we go off. Do you think that they could do some sort of double turn here with Randy and Cody? Or does Randy stay a heel?
Randy's not really a heel.
I mean, he
I,
sort of
I
is.
think Randy. No, I think Randy's operating like the way Randy Orton always operates. I think Randy Orton's just kind of in the gray area
He doesn't
at this
really have
point.
a classification.
Yeah, I don't think Randy Orton's a heel.
Okay. Was just curious on your thoughts there. And if anyone else
Yeah.
wants to comment, give us if they think Randy Orton's a heel.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like he's said numerous times, like, you wanted this from me. You want like, he wasn't justifying it, but he was more or less being like, yeah, this is what you asked for, like, and heels typically don't do that. I think Randy Orton's just so far along in his career, and he's probably the last legend going besides like Rey Mysterio, that he can kind of just do whatever he wants at this point. So but yeah, so with that, let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for all of the support. And if you could please smash that subscribe button, we really do appreciate it. And with that, I have been Mike, joined by Mr. Real Deal. Have yourselves a fantastic evening and take care.